There is a strange kind of protection that does not feel like protection at first. Feels like disappearance. A man once spent years trying to become visible. He wanted people to notice his effort, remember his name, invite him into important rooms, and speak well of him when he was not there. Then, suddenly the opposite began to happen. People stopped calling. Doors that once opened became silent. Friends who once knew every detail of his life slowly lost access to him. Even when he tried to explain what he was building, the words would not come out properly. He felt hidden, misunderstood, and strangely distant from the very people whose approval he once chased. One night, in frustration, he asked, "Why does it feel like I am being erased?" And the answer came to his heart in a way he could not ignore. Maybe you are not being erased. Maybe Allah is removing your address from the map of those who would damage what He is about to give you. My brother, my sister, there are times when Allah protects your next chapter by making your current life difficult to read. People cannot understand you. They cannot predict you. They cannot reach the deepest part of you. They cannot easily interfere, because even you do not fully know what Allah is preparing. This is why some seasons feel quiet. This is why certain friendships fade without a dramatic fight. This is why you lose the urge to explain yourself. This is why your heart becomes tired of being available to everyone. Not every distance is rejection. Not every silence is emptiness. Not every hidden season means you have been forgotten. Sometimes Allah hides the seed because the ground is safer than the surface. Think about it. A seed placed above the soil may be seen, but it will never become a tree. It must first disappear. It must be covered. It must enter darkness. It must break open in a place where nobody claps for it. Nobody takes pictures of it. Nobody says, "Look how beautifully this seed is growing." For a while, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, an entire future is forming. Roots are going down before branches are allowed to go up. And perhaps this is where you are. You are asking Allah for growth, but He is first building roots. You are asking for a new chapter, but He is first closing access to the old readers. You are asking for elevation, but He is teaching you how to survive without constant attention. Because not everyone who celebrates your beginning has the character to protect your becoming. Some people only know how to love the version of you that remains small enough not to disturb them. They are comfortable with you while you are uncertain. They are generous with advice while you are still beneath them. They support you as long as your progress does not force them to confront their own delay. But when Allah begins changing your thinking, strengthening your boundaries, correcting your habits, and pulling your heart closer to Him, some people feel the difference before you ever announce it. Your silence becomes uncomfortable to them. Your peace feels suspicious. Your refusal to share every plan feels like pride. Your new boundaries feel like betrayal. But perhaps you are not becoming cold. Perhaps you are finally learning that access is not the same as love. Everyone who knows your name does not deserve to know your next move. Everyone who asks about your life is not asking with a clean heart. Everyone who says, "I am happy for you," is not prepared to see what happens when Allah truly answers your prayers. This does not mean you become paranoid. It does not mean you accuse people. It does not mean you fill your heart with suspicion. Islam teaches you to think well of others. But Islam also teaches wisdom. You do not need to hate people in order to stop handing them the keys to places Allah is rebuilding. You do not need to expose anyone. You do not need to make an announcement. Sometimes the most powerful change is quiet. You simply become less available for confusion, less available for gossip, less available for emotional chaos, less available for conversations that leave your heart dark, less available for people who only return when they need your energy. And this is when you may begin to feel hard to find. The old version of you was easy to reach. A message could disturb your whole day. A comment could change your mood. A person's silence could make you question your worth. An invitation could pull you away from what mattered. A little praise could make you forget why you started. But Allah may be teaching you something deeper now. He may be teaching you that the heart that belongs to Him cannot remain public property. Your heart is not a waiting room for every opinion. Your mind is not a marketplace where every voice can enter and sell you fear. Your future is not a public project. Some things grow better when they are protected from noise. And sometimes Allah protects you by allowing people to misread your quietness. They think you are lost. They think nothing is happening. They think you have become irrelevant. They think your best days are behind you. But Allah may be doing some of His greatest work in a season that looks unimpressive from the outside. Look at the story of Prophet Yusuf. Before the palace, there was the well. Before authority, there was separation. Before recognition, there was a season where the people closest to him did not understand what Allah had placed inside him. He was hidden from the life he was meant to enter. Yet the well did not cancel the dream. The prison did not cancel the promise. The delay did not cancel the decree of Allah. The places that looked like disappearance were actually part of the road toward visibility at the right time. This is the difference between being hidden by people and being hidden by Allah. When people hide you, they want to reduce you. When Allah allows you to be hidden, He may be protecting you from being exposed before your character is ready. Because early visibility can destroy what maturity would have carried. Some blessings are not dangerous because they are bad. They are dangerous because they arrive before the soul is prepared to hold them. You ask for influence, but influence magnifies what is inside you. You ask for wealth, but wealth reveals what has power over your heart. You ask for love, but love can become an idol if Allah is not first in your life. You ask for recognition, but recognition can make you addicted to applause. So Allah may delay the outer chapter while He strengthens the inner person. He teaches you how to continue when nobody notices, how to pray when nobody praises your faith, how to improve when nobody is watching, how to give without needing your name mentioned, how to walk away without making a scene, how to remain kind without reopening every door, how to obey Him even when your reward is invisible. This is not a punishment. This is training. You are learning the manners of the hidden season. And the first lesson is this: stop forcing people to understand what Allah has not explained to them. Some of your pain comes from trying to make everyone see what you see. You keep explaining why you changed, why you became quieter, why you left certain spaces, why you stopped answering certain calls, why your priorities are different, why your heart no longer fits inside the life that once satisfied you. But the more you explain, the more tired you become. Because spiritual change is difficult to describe to people who only understand visible events. They ask, what happened? And you do not know how to say nothing happened in one moment. Allah slowly made my old life heavy. He made certain conversations taste empty. He made certain habits feel dangerous. He made certain environments disturb your peace. He made you notice what you once ignored. He made you uncomfortable with the version of yourself that lived only for people. That is not easy to explain. So perhaps you are being taught to move without needing a full audience. The second lesson is this: not every person from your past can travel into your future. This is painful because some people are attached to your memories. They were there when you were struggling. They know your weaknesses. They remember your mistakes. They know the old jokes, the old habits, the old fears, and the old version of you. And part of you feels guilty for growing away from them. You wonder whether change makes you disloyal. But growth is not betrayal. Healing is not betrayal. Choosing peace is not betrayal. Becoming more careful with your faith, time, and heart is not betrayal. You can honor what someone once meant to you without giving them permanent access to who you are becoming. Some chapters deserve gratitude, not repetition. Some people were a bridge, not a destination. Some relationships taught you, carried you, or even broke you in ways that pushed you back toward Allah. You do not need to curse the bridge after crossing it, but you also do not need to build your home on it. The third lesson is this: Allah may reduce your circle so you can finally hear your own heart. When too many voices surround you, you begin to live by reaction. Someone is disappointed, so you change direction. Someone is impressed, so you continue. Someone criticizes you, so you stop. Someone ignores you, so you chase. Someone praises you, so you become proud. Your life becomes a puppet tied to the hands of other people. Then Allah allows silence. The messages slow down. The invitations reduce. The social noise becomes weaker. At first you feel lonely. Then something unexpected happens. You begin to hear what you were avoiding. You notice the tiredness in your soul. You notice how much of your life was performance. You notice how often you said yes while your heart was saying no. You notice how many decisions were made out of fear of being left behind. You notice how far you had moved from the person you asked Allah to help you become. This awareness can hurt, but it is a mercy. A loud life can hide a wounded heart. A quiet life reveals it. And once the wound is revealed, healing can begin. The fourth lesson is this: being hard to find does not mean becoming absent from goodness. There is a difference between sacred privacy and unhealthy isolation. Islam does not teach you to disappear from responsibility. You still honor your family. You still help people. You still keep good company. You still show mercy. You still answer when duty calls. But you stop making yourself emotionally available to every demand. You stop confusing exhaustion with kindness. You stop saying yes to avoid guilt. You stop letting people reach you at the cost of losing yourself. Even the most generous heart needs protection. A lamp cannot light a room if everybody keeps opening it and taking the flame. You are allowed to protect your peace in a respectful way. You are allowed to delay a reply. You are allowed to leave a gathering that harms your heart. You are allowed to say, I cannot carry this right now. You are allowed to keep a plan private. You are allowed to work quietly. You are allowed to grow where applause cannot reach you. The fifth lesson is this: sometimes Allah hides you from an enemy you cannot yet recognize. Again, this is not an invitation to suspicion. It is an invitation to trust. You do not always know what Allah has moved away from your path. You do not know which conversation He prevented, which invitation He blocked, which person forgot to call, which opportunity looked attractive but carried harm, which delay protected your faith, which disappointment redirected your life. You only see the door that closed. Allah sees what was waiting behind it. You only feel the pain of being excluded. Allah knows what entering that space might have cost you. You only feel forgotten. But perhaps being forgotten by the wrong people is one of the ways Allah remembers you with mercy. There are things you will never know He protected you from. And one of the signs of growing faith is that you stop demanding a full explanation before you trust His wisdom. You say, Allah, I do not understand this distance, but do not let me waste it. Teach me what this silence is trying to teach me. Remove from my heart the need to be seen by those who cannot guide me. Make me sincere in private before you make me useful in public. That prayer can change a life. Because the goal is not to become mysterious. The goal is to become sincere. True hiddenness is not a performance. It is when you no longer need to advertise your peace. You no longer need to prove that you have moved on. You no longer post every lesson. You no longer announce every boundary. You no longer expose every betrayal. You no longer explain every blessing. You let Allah know the full story, and that becomes enough. There is great freedom in being fully known by Allah and only partly understood by people. Because people often judge a page. Allah knows the entire book. People see your pause. Allah knows the prayer behind it. People see your distance. Allah knows the danger you escaped. People see your silence. Allah knows how many words you swallowed to protect someone's dignity. People see your slow progress. Allah knows how hard you fought not to return to the person you used to be. So do not be ashamed if your life looks quiet right now. But there is a warning here. Do not turn your hidden season into laziness. Do not call fear protection. Do not call avoidance peace. Do not use spirituality to escape necessary conversations. Being hard to find does not mean running from accountability. It means becoming available to purpose and unavailable to distraction. You still work. You still learn. You still repair what you broke. You still apologize when you are wrong. You still seek knowledge. You still make effort. You still knock on lawful doors. You simply stop begging people to open doors Allah has not chosen. You stop chasing rooms where your soul must shrink to enter. You stop reducing your values just to remain included. You stop offering your dignity as payment for temporary acceptance. And this may feel like loss because your old life was built around being reachable. Reachable to praise, reachable to pressure, reachable to manipulation, reachable to distraction, reachable to every emergency that was not yours. But your next chapter may require a different kind of person. A person who can be alone without becoming empty. A person who can be misunderstood without becoming cruel. A person who can be delayed without becoming hopeless. A person who can be blessed without becoming proud. A person who can be seen without forgetting the one who saw them when nobody else did. That person is being formed now in the unanswered messages, in the quiet mornings, in the friendships that changed, in the plans that stayed private, in the tears nobody saw, in the discipline nobody applauded, in the prayers you whispered when you had no idea what would happen next. Allah is not only preparing the chapter, He is preparing the reader inside you, because even a beautiful future can be destroyed by an unhealed heart. If you carry old desperation into a new blessing, you may worship the blessing. If you carry old insecurity into influence, you may become controlled by opinions. If you carry old wounds into love, you may ask another human being to heal what only Allah can repair. So, Allah may hide you long enough for your hunger to change. At first, you wanted the blessing because you wanted to be admired. Later, you want it because you want to serve. At first, you wanted success to prove people wrong. Later, you want it so you can do something right. At first, you wanted to be seen. Later, you want your deeds to be accepted, even if your name is forgotten. That is a different heart. And a different heart can carry a different chapter. One day, you may look back and realize that the people who could not find you were not always being cruel. Some were simply being removed from the story before they could interfere with the plot. Some exits were not enemies attacking you. They were mercy making space. Some silences were not people punishing you. They were Allah teaching you not to survive on human attention. Some lonely nights were not empty. They were private meetings between your weakness and His strength. Some closed doors were not rejection. They were walls around a garden that had not yet learned to protect its flowers. And when the right season comes, Allah does not need your enemies to agree. He does not need the people who doubted you to understand. He does not need the old room to make space. He can open what nobody expected. He can connect you to people you never knew. He can place acceptance in hearts without your advertisement. He can bring you forward after years of silence. But by then, you will not be the same person who once begged to be noticed. You will know that visibility is a responsibility. You will know that every blessing needs protection. You will know that not every detail belongs in public. You will know that peace is more valuable than proving a point. You will know that a small circle with clean hearts is better than a crowd that feeds your ego. You will know that being close to Allah is not loneliness. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of this hidden season. Allah is not only making you hard for people to find, He is making it easier for you to find Him. When the noise leaves, His words reach deeper. When the crowd moves away, prayer becomes more honest. When you stop performing, repentance becomes real. When you no longer need to impress anyone, worship becomes lighter. When the world cannot locate your worth, you begin to locate it in the knowledge that you belong to Allah. So if your life feels strangely quiet, do not rush to fill every empty space. Do not reopen a door just because silence feels unfamiliar. Do not return to chaos simply because chaos once felt like company. Do not give your private healing to people who only know how to discuss wounds. Stay close to Allah. Keep your prayer alive. Protect your mourning. Guard your tongue. Choose company that increases your honesty, not your image. Work on what He has placed in front of you. And let the hidden season complete its work. You do not need to force your next chapter. You need to become ready for it. You do not need everybody to find you. You need the right people to recognize you at the right time. You do not need to announce that Allah is preparing you. Let your character become the announcement. Let your calm become the evidence. Let your discipline become the proof. Let your changed choices speak. And remember this, a treasure is not hidden because it has no value. It is hidden because value requires protection. A king does not display every plan before the battle. A gardener does not dig up the seed every morning to prove that it is growing. And Allah does not owe the world an explanation for what He is developing inside you. Perhaps the reason you feel unseen is because your next chapter cannot survive the eyes that watched your last one. Perhaps the reason you feel distant is because Allah is teaching you to walk without emotional crutches. Perhaps the reason you are becoming hard to find is because He is moving you from public noise into private preparation. Do not panic. Do not become bitter. Do not accuse everyone. Do not worship isolation. But do not waste the protection either. Let this season clean you. Let it humble you. Let it expose what you depended on besides Allah. Let it teach you to move quietly. Let it teach you to love without clinging. Let it teach you to leave without hatred. Let it teach you to trust without seeing the full road. And when your next chapter finally opens, may you enter it with a heart that is not hungry for attention, but hungry for acceptance from Allah. May you enter it with wisdom, with gratitude, with clean intentions, with boundaries that protect your faith, with eyes that recognize mercy even when mercy first arrives as distance. Because sometimes the greatest proof that Allah is protecting your future is not that He gives you more people. It is that He teaches you how to live without needing to be found by everyone. And when Allah wants the right person, the right door, the right opportunity, or the right moment to find you, nothing on earth can keep it away. Until then, be patient with the silence. There may be a whole new life growing beneath it.